You mean everything to me because I know you mean everything to Christ. And Christ means everything to me.
I called on the Lord. I said, that Father, this is real. Will you watch over them? Will you raise them up to be strong? I'm just a man with flesh. This is what you called for in your scriptures. You said they wore studs and fringes, they got it on. You said they don't follow the law, they doing it. You said under Yahanna they ought to love one another, and they doing it.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas?
U.P.K soldiers got them killers with me, and I don't fuck with every spot cause it's too iffy. Real motherfucking prophet cause the Lord with me, but don't get that shit twisted, I got Drake's with me. Yeah, bitch, and that whole 50. Run up on me wrong, you gon' catch 60. Wait, you gon' catch 20. The other 30 for your homies, bitch, I got plenty. And I'll shoot this motherfucker till that clip empty. Taking orders from your bitch, you a fucking simpy. Shit, should be televised. The way I'm cutting niggas up, bitch, I'm a samurai. Niggas swear they in the truth, but telling hella lies. Stumping like you Greek, bitch, you Hellenized. The revolution gon' be televised, and what I see in my vision gon' leave you petrified.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas?
U.P.K soldiers lead cowards in awe. So fuck a gas stop, I came with 6 pumps in my car. My niggas ready to swing, we like kids at the park. So touch a chair around this bitch and we breaking your jaw. They think we Christian but we not, nothing about us is soft. I don't know what you niggas on, but that shit get you off. We booted up, we came to take zones for real. Black 40 under my garment, I be dressed to kill. Fourth dimension sitting linger, I be fresh for real. Putting scripts on your corners, but these here ain't pills. We rock covers, you official if you know those drills. Bread and water, you official if you know those meals. Yeah, you niggas soldiers get rolled over. You got police in your pocket, I got a judge in my holster. Oppressors out to get us, so remain sober. Or be chained to them chains till there's nothing that remains of us. A cult leader like Christ, we got the same culture. I bang on them, tell my enemies the reign's over. I up the sig and keep pulling like a chain smoker. The game ain't changed, One West stayed the same on them.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas?
Niggas talking prophets, yeah, we got plenty. We the reason why it's Israelites around the city. Call Kazak, tells a rock, bring Shamara. We about to slide on them, see what niggas talking about. Young dog think he wise cause he a Kim in here. That shit lame, they didn't survive, nigga, Kim is dead. Where I'm from, little nigga, is a dirty game. I pledge allegiance to Yahweh, bitch, I'm U.P.K. Nigga, let's talk bodies. Set up on your corner, wake up everybody. Big priest, until I'm dead deceased. The mission is complete until you're off the street. So y'all on the internet, stumping down the street. But take the poor and the weak. Touch your sister or brother, you gonna be sleep. But take the poor and the weak.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas?
Fucking with the brothers, then I'm giving out major pain. Clip full of ball heads, I'm shooting out Damon Wayne's driven ambition. I ain't never changing lanes. wise as an old man, but I ain't slanging cane. This ain't a game, this shit way deeper than rap. You speaking the cap, but the shit y'all speaking is cap. I'm 5,000, but I still keep it a stack. I'm in the truth, not cause back then I was seeking the fact. Cry aloud for the niggas that's deep in the back. And the Lord with me, ain't no reason for keeping the strap. We peep the attacks, niggas say we ain't speaking the facts. Stealing breakdowns every time we teaching in class. Niggas snitching, y'all out here squeaking with rats. We be on the street corners teaching that Jesus is black.
We on 125th Street, Harlem, nigga, you see where we at?
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West.
Welcome to I.S.U.P.K Detroit. Check us out on all social media platforms. Classes are Monday through Saturday. Monday is the history class from 7 to 9 p.m. Tuesday is scripture breakdown. Wednesday is biblical law class. Friday, Lashawan Kodash, Hebrew language. Saturday, the Sabbath service. Check out our community service program. We have food and clothing drives, helping the people in need. And we also have felony expungement services available. Join us and get involved.
Hey, what's going on, Israel? Y'all about shit me out, shot back the thumb. Y'all about shimmy out, shot back the thumb to all the brothers. Shamal, the fun about shimmy out, shout out the sisters. All right, I'm Priest Officer 500, sure you want. All right, got with me the mighty priest, Officer 500, Abawan. All right, we're gonna be rocking it out tonight. Monday night history class. All right, we're going live every Monday from 7 till 9 p.m. All right, teaching our brothers and sisters the truth of the Bible, teaching our brothers and sisters their history as it's been in North and South Central America and all throughout the world. Okay, the history that we've been through, going all the way back to the time of Moses. Okay, we're teaching history to our people according to the Bible, according to God, and the truth of what we've gone through here as Black, Hispanic, and Native American North American Indians here in North and South Central America. Right, so make sure you tune in with us every Monday night from 7 till 9 p.m. All right, you're in the chat. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. All right, you're following with us on Detroit. We're live on Canada. We're live on I.S.U.P.K Detroit Facebook. Make sure you're tuned in with us on all the major social media platforms. Like, share, subscribe, and get that information. Right? So tonight, we're going to be talking about Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street, what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the disgusting things that our oppressor has done to us while we've been here in North America. All right, we're going to be getting into that. And we're also going to be speaking about some of the things that brothers and sisters inside of Canada have been through. Okay? Yep, kind of.
So what we got going on tonight is that we got, as you know, that Officer Shaiwan is from Windsor, just moved to Windsor. And with us being here from Detroit, myself being from Detroit, what we're doing is we're bridging gaps between the Windsor and the Detroit, not just with the UPK, but with some of our history. Him and I have been talking the last couple of weeks, and we've noticed that there are some history gaps that we have not been privy to. Well, I have not been privy to over here, being over here in America, and with him being over in Canada. Some of the things that we were talking about, they kind of merged together. Right. So yes, we're going to be talking about Black Wall Street, but they had something similar to Black Wall Street in Windsor, right? In Canada, right?
Yep, that's right.
What was it called?
It was they called it McDougal Street.
Yeah. So we're gonna. I'm gonna learn today, as well as teach about some history that went on in Canada, similar to what's going on right here, that went on right here in America. And what we've learned, that the things that went on in America with our oppressor and our people, went on in Canada with our oppressor and our people, went on in Europe with our oppressor and our people. It was just called something different, you know. And so that's how we're going to get started. So, you know, we're here operating under Commanding General Yahanna, started out of 1 West 125th Street, 1969. That's how long that the I.S.U.P.K has been teaching this truth, right? And tonight, Windsor, Detroit history class.
Yep. And if I may, let's bring out a scripture real quick. If we could get to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1, and then we'll jump to verse 15. Because what the mighty priest is bringing out is so heavy, in that as we bridge some of these gaps in our understanding of history, there's something far greater that supersedes any of the knowledge that we've learned here in America. And that's the truth of the Bible. Like what Christ said is that ye shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. The most important thing for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians is to know the truth of the Bible. That's your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the other nations. And that's information and knowledge that's going to truly set you free here in America. You understand? And so, since 1969 under Commanding General Yahanna, as we break down these scriptures and we break down the truth of the Bible, you're going to truly learn information that is going to set you free. You're truly going to learn information that's going to liberate you, that's going to free your mind and allow you to operate inside of Canada, inside of Europe, inside of the Caribbean islands, inside of America and South America. The truth of the Bible is what every Black, Hispanic, and Native American needs, and that's the starting point for all of us that we really got to understand. Con, go ahead.
So, what's so heavy about the acronym UPK? It's universal practical knowledge. You can use this knowledge, like he was just saying,
right,
anywhere around the world. You know, you can use it in the Caribbean islands. You can use it in the sticky lands of Africa. You can use it, you know, in the oppressive lands of Europe. You can use it here in America. You can use it in Canada. And as long as you go by this universal practical knowledge that we all learn from Commander General Yahanna, right? Understand that these laws in this Bible, these statutes in these Bibles are what keep you safe, right? What keep you safe. So, any other further ado, let's go ahead and get started. That was our quick introduction. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started. So we're going to talk about. You want to get into the McDougal in Canada, or you want to start off with the intro of Black Wall Street?
Yeah, let's start off with the intro to Black Wall Street.
So with starting off with the intro to Black Wall Street, a lot of us already know that Black Wall Street started off as a city in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? So Tulsa, Oklahoma, just a quick intro about it. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, this was maybe 50, 60 years right after slavery was so-called abolished. Our people, some of our people set up land in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The population was right around, according to Wikipedia and some of the sources, right around 4,000, 5,000 people, right? And with the population being there, understand is that our people got together, dealt with our people only. And what you don't understand, what a lot of people don't know, is that in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right, had the second largest bank, not in America, but in the world. So we were making money. We made some money. So we had the second largest bank in the world. And if you look up some of the depriving times of America, in America, that's when they started to get the grips of the Great Depression And those functions start to affect Americans in that time, in the 20s, in the early 20s. So you understand, we went into the Great Depression, and they want to say 1928, 1929, but the birth pains of the Great Depression started in the early 20s, right, in the early 20s. So with the Great Depression birth pains starting off in the early 20s, understand that we had a city in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that was one of the biggest financial cities operating in the United States, right? Had the second largest bank in the world. So our people were thriving. Our people were making money. And what ended up happening is on June 1st, 1921, that's when the starts of the Tulsa Massacre or the Tulsa Race War. You got a lot of different names for it. So what I'm gonna do right now is just pull up what Wikipedia says about it, right? So I'm just gonna read a little bit about it. I got it. I'll take care of it, and then you have yep, that'll work. So right here, this is a source out of Wikipedia. It says the Tulsa Race Massacre, also known as the Tulsa Race Riot or the Black Wall Street Massacre, was a 2-day-long white supremacist massacre. Now this is not Abuan, this is not Shaiwan, this is Wikipedia. Right, so Wikipedia said it was a white supremacist terrorist massacre, right? And if you break white supremacist terrorist massacre, when has the media, and this is a quick question, when has the media ever said we had a white supremacist terrorist massacre?
No, never. I never heard that.
I never heard that before myself. That's why I wanted to ask you, right? It said it took place between May 31st and June 1st of 1921, when mobs of white residents, some of whom had been appointed as deputies and earned by city government officials. So these white supremacists were earned by the same government you got to pay taxes to. Right? They were earned by the same government that you are governed each and every day, walking through whatever city that you may live in. Right? So they were earned by city government officials. And what they did was they attacked black residents and destroyed homes and businesses of the Greenwood district in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This event is considered one of the worst incidents of racial violence in American history, right? So with this being one of the worst incidents of racial violence in American history, I think Captain Cesario brought out what happened. What was the one at Rosewood in Florida? Right. That was based on a true story, right? So you got multiple riots, you got multiple massacres where they killed a lot of our unalived, a lot of our people, right? And they didn't call it the racial violence in American history, right? This is what Wikipedia said. So the attackers burned and destroyed more than 35 square blocks of the neighborhood. At the time, one of the wealthiest black communities in the United States. Right. So what they did was, understand that Tulsa, Oklahoma had the second largest bank, right, in the world at the time. And these, according to this Wikipedia article, this is not me, this is the Wikipedia article, and it said these white supremacist terrorists, right, they destroyed more than 35 blocks of the neighborhood that was the wealthiest community in the United States. This is what I'm reading out of here. It says more than 800 people were admitted to the hospital. More than 800 people were admitted to the hospital, right? Here's a correction. It says as many as 6,000 black residents of Tulsa was interned in large facilities, many of them for several days. So they were interned in large facilities. You know what that sounds like to me?
So,
remember they put our Hispanic brothers and sisters in them cages
right.
in large facilities. So they did the same thing to us, right? Understand that history repeats itself. So they put our people again in these large facilities, right? More than 6,000 of them, right? For several days, right? You know, with several days, that could be, 2-3 days, 2-3 years. They won't give us a proper length. So I'm gonna jump down, right, to what started this riot.
Right.
If I may.
Yep.
So the massacre began during Memorial Day, the weekend after 19-year-old Dick Rowland, a black shoe shiner, was accused of assaulting Sarah Page, a white 17-year-old elevator operator in the nearby Drexel building. So a 19-year-old brother was accused of assaulting a 17-year-old oppressor that was an elevator operator.
Right.
So you know, back in the days they had the elevator operators. You didn't have to get on the elevator and press the button. You know, somebody did it, and then they did the winding thing and stuff like that, and then you would go up and down, right? He was arrested, right? So understand this, that they arrested him. So if they arrested him, why go out and kill so many people? Why go out and kill? That sounds like, I think I need a scripture right there. Why would they go out and kill so many people?
I got a couple of scriptures.
I'm sure you got one for me. Why would they kill so many people when right here it says he was arrested and rumored that he would be lynched were spread. Rumors that he would be lynched were spread throughout the city, where a white man by the name Roy Belton had lynched the previous year. So this white man went out and lynched somebody the previous year in the same area. Upon hearing reports that the mob of hundreds of white men, and this is Wikipedia, this is not me, had gathered around the jail where Rowland was held, a group of 75 black men, some armed, arrived at the jail to protect Rowland. The sheriff persuaded the group to leave the jail, assuring them that he had the situation under control. So 75 black men came around to protect Mr. Rowland, right? But the sheriff, because the Bible says, your oppressor's words are smoother than butter. So he put that buttermilk biscuit out there. He said, hey, I promise you I will take care of your family member. I'll take care of Mr. Rowland, right? You know what? Real quick, Salaki, what's up?
Yeah, that's what. Right? Yeah, Salaki, if I may, I'll bring out a quick scripture. Let's go to John chapter 8, verse 44. I believe it's verse 44. Yeah, this is the book of John chapter 8, verse 44. This is the truth of the Bible. This is the truth that Christ said would set you free. Right? What this brother is reading right now, you know what I mean, about the disgusting things our people have had to go through. All of this is biblical. I mean, this is something your Christian pastor is never going to bring up. Right? This is the book of John chapter 8, verse 44. It says, "You are of your father, the devil." There was a time where blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people were inside of Rome, acting like they're oppressors. They were acting like the Romans. And Christ was checking us, saying, you're of your father the devil. You're acting like the way the devil acts. But this isn't your culture. This isn't the way you're supposed to act, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. It says, and the lust of your father ye will do. So Christ was trying to teach our people, because it says Christ came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Christ came for blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. And he said that you guys can't be acting like these Romans. The way these Romans are acting is disgusting. It's foul. Christ was checking it. Christ was teaching us. He said he was a murderer from the beginning. And this is what this brother is reading right now. Okay. Slack, 1 minute. Right? This is what this brother is reading right now. Right? He's reading about the atrocities that this oppressor has done to us. Right? Oh, we lost the camera? Okay, come on, no sweat. No sweat. Right? So Christ was telling us, he said, he was a murderer from the beginning. Christ was telling the lost sheep of the house of Israel that these Romans were murderers from the beginning. Why was he saying they're murderers from the beginning? Because that's the spirit of these people. That's the spirit of our oppressors. You know what I mean? As we start going through what happened on Black Wall Street, you're going to see, as history continues to repeat itself, our oppressor is a murderer. Our oppressor has gone around unaliving millions of blacks and indigenous people. They have it on record, over 99 million so-called African Americans. Over 70 million indigenous brothers and sisters have been unalived by our oppressors. He is a straight up murderer. Christ said, not only was he a murderer from the beginning, he said, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. You know all the lies that some of our oppressors, women, have told on us to get us lynched, to get us hung, to get us burned alive and fed to pigs? How many lies? What are the lies that they told on this brother who's sitting there operating an elevator? Like that's the spirit of these people. And that's what we're doing in these history classes. We're showing you the history of these people. Right? Salaki, that was it. You wanted to keep on?
So, let me get this together. So the oppressor told the 75 black men that he was going to protect this one black man who was falsely accused. And like the brother was saying, so many of our brothers are falsely accused. What was the basketball player's name who just got falsely accused of SA to one of those oppressors? She said that he had breached up her skirt and fondled her. Right?
I can't remember.
It was a basketball player in the past. He had married an oppressor. And he had took her across city lines. And when he took her across city lines, they tried to charge him with selling her. Right. So you had the if you go back as far as Emmett Till. Emmett Till was accused of catcalling an oppressor. Yeah. And the oppressor husband and his friends came and brutally unalived in the tip. So we've seen brothers unalived because the lie from that female oppressor, that female oppressor, that so many brothers are infatuated with when they become millionaires. Sir, you were saying earlier that you was going to pull a scripture about how we shouldn't trust our oppressor.
Right.
Would you like to get that now?
I'll get that for you.
No, I'll get it. I'll read it.
Okay, come on, no sweat. Yeah, Proverbs 3 and 31, I believe.
You said Proverbs 3 and 31?
Yeah, try Proverbs 3 and 31. Publication. You get there.
3 and 31.
Oh, no, Slack, that's not it.
No, I think it's Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 12 and 10.
And this is one of my favorite backbone scriptures, because understand is with me working in the automotive industry, I see this every day.
Yeah.
Right. So what I have here is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 10. Right. And it reads this: never trust thy enemy.
Right. Never trust thine enemy. One of the first things that will free us as a people is understanding that we have enemies. Right? I remember, I think they used to say that in Christianity, but they say the greatest trick of the devil is to prove he doesn't exist or something like that.
I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, that's some of the foolish sayings in Christianity, but to that one, like, imagine having this person who's oppressing you, and you don't even believe that he's there. You know what I mean? This person that's flooding drugs in your community, and you don't even know that he's doing it. You know what I mean? In the I.S.U.P.K, one of the first things we learn under Commanding General Yahanna is that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we have an enemy. And Christ is coming to save us from that enemy. That's something that we got to understand. Like what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, if that's not a clear picture of black people having enemies, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? Read that again from the top.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thy enemy.
Sometimes.
Never trust thy enemy.
If he's Asian, we can trust him.
Never trust thy enemy.
Yeah, if he's a so-called white man, we can trust him.
Never trust thy enemy.
That's what the Bible says, and that's wisdom from the Most High. That's God. That's the Most High. That's our Father. You know what I mean? The person who loves us and cares about us greater than anybody else could. He's telling us never trust our enemy so that we can be safe. You know what I mean? That's why this is the school of practical knowledge, like you were saying. That's practical knowledge. You know what I mean? Telling your kids when they're growing up that there's people out there that may try to harm you. And these are people that you shouldn't walk with. You shouldn't hold hand in hand with. These are people that are your enemies. You know what I mean? Keep reading.
Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Yeah, he gonna be wicked to the day he died. It's like him.
Okay, sir?
Right.
The scripture says, for like as iron rust, right?
Yep.
So if you leave iron out, right, regardless of how you do iron, you got the iron gates up.
Yep.
Iron is going to oxidize. Iron is going to rust. You're going to have to get that rust off the iron. So it's 100% positive that iron is going to rust.
Right.
I'm speaking about iron, right? And if you leave iron out, it's going to rust. I haven't seen, and you let me know if you've seen something. I haven't seen any condition where iron doesn't rust when you hold it outside. If it's in the rain, if it's not in the rain, if it's in the sun, if it's not in the sun, if it's under the moon, right? If it's in the house, if it's outside the house, iron is going to rust. It's going to rust in the wilderness. It's going to rust in the city, right? It's going to rust. So when it said iron is going to rust, so is his wickedness. Can you explain that?
Yeah, that's what I tried to keep it short and sweet. Said he gonna be wicked till the day he died. But like this is why I hear Captain Officer Yatazak say this at the headquarters. Like our oppressor is a virus. You know what I mean? And you know, even in that analogy you just gave, when I think of a virus, like it literally eats at you. You know what I mean? It eats at you till it destroys you. You know what I mean? It's just there to devour. You know what I mean? And that metal, that iron rust, you see it wither away. You know what I mean? You're literally seeing it be destroyed and just eating at and withering away. You know what I mean? And so to think about it to think about your oppressor and to understand his wickedness, it is to truly understand that, like, you can't change his nature. It's in his nature to be wicked. You know, yeah.
We got to turn this. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, being we stay sad to stay sad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to turn that we say down here in the city is like it's for show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It's for
yeah.
So it's for show. You're gonna be wicked. For sure. For sure. That's what they say for sure, right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he said, for like as iron. So as iron rusts, your enemy is for sure gonna be evil towards you. Right? Your enemy is gonna for sure trying to destroy you. Right? Your enemy is gonna let's see, we were talking about the words were smoother than butter.
Yeah.
Right? So your enemy is gonna try to what the kids call it now? What they say? Finesse.
Yeah.
Finesse. He's gonna for sure try to finesse you. Your enemy is gonna try to finesse you. He's gonna tell you one thing and do another thing. Right? Our Native American brothers used to call their oppressor double tongue. Because he would say one thing and do something else. So,
Yeah, if I may, I got one more verse. Can you bring this up for me?
It's you.
This is Ecclesiastes 1:15.
Pull it up. Let me read it for
you. Yep, I'm sure.
Ecclesiastes or Ecclesiastes?
Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes.
Yep, chapter 1, verse 15.
Now I see you trying to pull out the fire. You trying to pull out the fire. I see it.
I mean, it's important. This is, if I could get our people to understand one thing coming out of this class, to understand that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, we should never trust this man.
Now, so this is Ecclesiastes,
Yep.
chapter 1 and verse 15.
Yep.
Right? It says, that which is crooked cannot be made straight.
Yeah. Read that one more time.
That which is crooked cannot be made straight.
Like what Abuan brought out, like telling our people to never trust our enemy. Not only to never trust him, but he is the most wicked. I'm not saying cussing.
Yeah, you can say bastard.
I can say bastard. Our oppressor is the most wicked bastard on the face of the planet. You understand? And this is why you should never trust him in any situation. You know what I mean? You got a 4-year-old child. Tell your 4-year-old child you should never trust our oppressor. Ever. That's straight from the Lord. Why? Because, read that again.
That which is crooked cannot be made straight.
Because the Lord made this man crooked.
That which is crooked cannot be made straight.
And you can't change who he is.
That which is crooked cannot be made straight.
Yeah. Wow. Never trust that. You know what I mean?
The scripture tell us never to trust our enemy.
Yep.
Then it says that which is made crooked cannot be made straight.
Yeah.
Right. So just say, and may I ask you a question?
Yep.
Just say I'm an everyday, this we on Gratian and Finley. We on Gratian and Finley, right? I grew up, east side, west side Detroit, thinking that, my ops, right? My ops is my enemies. That's what the young kids call them, not ops, right? For I assume it's short for opponents, but I will have to go and get a breakdown. But my ops, right? These people that who find themselves opposing me, because that's what I thought it meant. So those that oppose me look like me.
Right.
Right? So is there anywhere in the Bible that shows where our enemy is, or what we can possibly say this is what our enemy, or this is who our enemy is?
Okay. So, like, just to understand your question, you're saying, when you're saying ops, you're looking at other blacks. Okay, you're looking at the enemy. You're looking. I understand. I got you. So, and one more time.
A similar question.
Yep.
Where in the Bible does it say who our enemy is?
Gotcha. Yeah. You could go all over the Bible.
You go all over, but the heavy one, and you correct me if I'm incorrect.
Yep.
I will go to Deuteronomy probably 28:60.
I would go before that.
Oh, sure.
Slack. Yeah, I would go. I would go to Genesis chapter 25.
Want to pull it up, sir?
Yeah, let's get that, and then we'll go to Deuteronomy 28:68.
So
Genesis 25, I believe, verse 22.
And the reason why we bring this up today is because our people, we don't combat against our enemy, we combat against each other, right? And I've heard, especially coming out of the Christian church, I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, the oppressor ain't never done nothing towards me. It's that nigga up the street.
Right.
He the one that broke into my house, or that sister around the corner. She the one that stole my man." These are the things that you hear growing up in the black communities, right? These are the things that I heard, right? Yep. And so I grew up thinking that black man down the street, that black man around the corner,
right,
was my enemy.
Right.
And with me growing up thinking he was my enemy, the Christian church allowed me to continue to think that he was my enemy. I didn't learn that these brothers and sisters were just going through the same oppression that I was going through until I joined the UPK.
Yeah.
Right. It took Officer LeBron to show me this years ago. Yep. It took Captain Hadariana to reiterate it after that.
Yep.
So the scripture was Genesis 25 and 22.
Yeah.
That's the one you want?
Yep, that's good.
So Genesis chapter 25 and verse 22. And the children struggled together. That's where you want to start?
Yep, let's go up one verse.
Go up one more? Verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him.
Keep on.
And Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
Right. And so Isaac had a wife named Rebekah, and she was barren. She had children. Right? Keep going.
Verse 22. And the children struggled together within her.
The children what?
Struggled together within her.
So Rebekah has two children inside her womb, and they're struggling inside of her womb. Right? They're fighting inside of Rebekah's womb. Right? Keep reading.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
Right. So Rebecca looked at the Lord and said, if these children that I have are a blessing of the Lord, why are they fighting together in my womb? You understand? This sister couldn't understand why this thing that's supposed to be a good thing, why these children are fighting. Keep going.
If it be so, why am I thus?
Right.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Right. So she asked the Lord, why is this happening? Keep going.
Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
This is why they're fighting. Because you got 2 nations. You understand? This is a spiritual thing that was happening right now. You had 2 nations inside of Rebecca's womb. And the Lord was about to explain to her why what's going on in her stomach is going on. Right? Keep reading.
2 nations are in thy womb. And 2 manner of people.
2 what?
2 manner of people.
2 what?
2 manner of people.
2 manner. They have 2 different mannerisms. They're not the same. You understand? These are 2 nations with 2 different personality types. Keep going.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
Right, keep going.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Right.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
Right. And if we jump down to, let me see. This thing is so birthright. You could jump to let me see, verse 30. Where Esau sought it with tears.
Where he did what's up?
Esau wanted to be blessed.
Oh, that would be near Jacob's. Their father's death.
You understand? Because what this story is telling us so far is that we had an enemy right from the inception of our nation. Right? It said that 2 nations are in thy womb. You understand? So, like Abawan is asking, like when he's growing up, looking at these ops, not understanding that not only is this a different nation, but this nation that is different from us, you understand? They have certain mannerisms towards us. They have certain mannerisms and characteristics that are different from us. And we've been fighting since our inception. We've been struggling as a nation against the other nation since the womb.
I think it's in 27.
Where it says, it says Esau was jealous. Esau was jealous of Jacob because of the birthright that he got.
You want it where Esau wanted to be blessed?
Let me see if I could.
Because that would be like 27 and 10.
27? Yeah, let me see 27 and 10. Where's that? 27 and 10. So my brother said.
It's a little farther down. So we jump down to 30.
Let's go back up. Oh, I think I have it.
Start at 21.
Try that. Yep.
This is Genesis chapter 27 and verse 21. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not.
Yeah, Salaki. Let's get Genesis 27, verse 41. Come. You understand? Because so we're reading in Genesis 25 the birth of a nation, the beginning of Jacob and Esau. Jacob, who becomes the progenitor of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, who we understand to be blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. And then you have the nation of Esau, who is the progenitor of the Edomites. That's your Roman, your Greek, your Polish, Russian, British, you understand? The so-called Caucasian. That's Jacob and Esau, right? And what we're about to read in verse 41, you understand, is the reason for him being our enemy today. Right? Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 27 and verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob.
And Esau what?
And Esau hated Jacob.
These oppressors that are over us hate you.
Yeah, right.
You understand? They hate blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. That's in the Bible. We've been fighting since the beginning. When you read those two nations being in Rebecca's womb, it said one nation is stronger than the other.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
There is a reason for this conflict, right? Keep reading.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessings wherewith his father blessed him.
Right.
And Esau said in his heart, this day of mourning of my father, the day of mourning of my father are at hand.
Keep going.
Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Right. So from the beginning, the most important thing to understand about your oppressor, not the most important thing, but to understand this conflict is that this oppressor that's over us, he's just simply jealous of who we are. You understand? You are stronger than your oppressor, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. We built up Wall Street in a couple decades. You know what I mean? Less than a couple decades. Am I right? Coming right out of slavery. Why? Because you're strong. Why? Because, like the Most High said, you're above all nations on the face of the earth. There's nobody that can compete with us. There's nobody stronger than us. There's nobody better than us on this earth. And our twin brother Jacob, this man who's the progenitor of this other nation, he is jealous of who you are. You understand? And that's what the Bible is telling us. This man is going to have a perpetual hatred for who you are because he is jealous of who you are. To understand his spirit and who we are and why we are where we are today is to understand that this man is jealous of us. The European woman, the European man, you know what I mean? They want what you have. They want what Isaac blessed us with. They want that blessing. They want everything that we have. You understand?
You know what's so heavy about that, sir? Is
Yeah.
that they want everything that we have. They mimic our cultures.
Right.
You know, that's the term culture vulture.
Absolutely.
Right. So we whatever, you know, understand the Bible said that we are the salt of the earth.
Okay.
Right. So we put the swag and everything.
Right.
You know, the swag and everything. We'll go out and get the same kind of vehicle they get.
Yep.
But you can tell, oh, that's a black man vehicle. Or that's
Yeah.
you know, that's not a black person's vehicle. You know, it'd be fishbowl.
Yeah.
It'd be fishbowl. You know, you can tell just by the way we carry ourselves. We can go out and buy similar jewelry, right? We'll buy similar anything compared to them, right? Even as far as buying some chicken and potatoes, we'll go ahead and season it up, right? And you'll put that chicken and that potatoes out there, you know, chicken and potato salad out there, and you can tell that our potato salad, right, tastes better. Or you can actually look at our potato salad and like, you know what? That's the black person potato salad because it ain't no raisins in it. It's that simple.
Right.
Everything that we do, the Lord blesses, but we sweat.
Yeah.
Right? So what I wanted to do is that we were bringing up the scripture, never trust thy enemy. And
Yep.
So I want Jacob and Esau. So from the beginning, we had ops.
Yeah.
Right? But we were not able to determine. Jacob, you know, if you read on, Jacob still looked at Esau as his brother.
Yeah.
Right? He still looked at Esau as his brother. But if we go over to Deuteronomy, let's go to 28 and 68. Because I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna just real simple.
Yep.
Who our enemy are? Who is the real enemy of the children of Israel?
Yeah.
Right? Can you read that for me, please?
Yep. Come. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. With chips. Right? And I'm gonna talk to the Judites real quick. Right? Those ones that were stolen and removed from the western coast of Africa and shipped over here to the Americas, right, by ships. Who are your enemies? Those are the ones that live in Detroit, Philly, you know, the Bronx. Who are your enemies? Your enemy is not that brother that wear the same Timberland boots as you. Your enemy is not that brother that you on the basketball court with and you can't get past it.
Right.
That's not your enemy, right? Understand that the Lord said you will be shipped into bondage, because Egypt is synonymous to bondage.
Yep.
You will be shipped into bondage again by ships. You came over here on those cargo slave ships. Your ancestors came over here on those cargo slave ships. And the people that was here, if you understand the transatlantic slave trade, the people that was here in America, were shipped to the European places.
Yep.
Right. So we were pulled from Africa here. The people that was in so-called America now was moved to you know, we'll say Europe. And those people that was in Europe, our people that was there, they were pulled from ships and shipped somewhere else. Right. Coming up with this transatlantic slave trade. Right. And our enemies were the ones that came up with the transatlantic slave trade, right? So it was the Hamite, the Ishmaelite, and the Edomite. They worked together, one to build these ships, another one to capture us, and another one to buy us.
Yeah.
That's a triangle. And if you look at it, the triangle is one of the strongest, figures, because of the support legs and the base. It has a wide base and it has the support legs, so it's the strongest of all of the what do they call the shapes? Yep. So it's the strongest of all the shapes. If you look on the back of your dollar bill, you're going to see that pyramid in a triangle with an eye in the middle, right? Because the American government wants to show you its strength. And they show you that strength in that triangle, in that pyramid, with that eye of Ra in the middle of it. So it says right there that we will be shipped. Again, sir, say it again.
Yep. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
The Lord shall bring you into slavery again, bondage again, right? Under the oppression again with ships. Continue.
by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
You shall see it no more again. It's going to tell you what you won't see anymore again next.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
You're not going to see this land no more that you're in. You're not going to see this land no more again, right? But you're going to be shipped to this new land. And when you ship to this new land, you're going to be what?
Sold unto your enemies.
Black man, Native American man, Hispanic man. You got an enemy, right? And you were sold to him. Now ask yourself this. That you got around the corner, was you sold them? The Crips and Blood, we used all the time. Do you see any Crips sold to some Bloods?
Right.
You see any Bloods sold to some Crips, right? You got the GDs. Was any one of those gang members sold to a rival gang? No. So who were we sold to during this time? Read it again.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
Sold to your enemies.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
So you will be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, which just means slaves. That's all it means. Real quick. You're going to be sold as slaves. Slave women, slave men, slave babies, slave kids, slave adolescents, slave teenagers. You're going to be sold as slaves to your enemy. Who are you sold to, black man, Native American man, Hispanic man? Who are you sold to? It's simple. Look at it. This is one thing the American history books did not lie about. When they said you was a slave and you were sold, they wanted you to know that you were a slave and you were sold. And who was you sold to? Us. To prove that you were sold to us, understand if you look at the history, how many American presidents had slaves? Think about it. Some of the founding fathers of America had slaves, right? Thomas Edison. You got a light on in your house, sir?
Huh?
Thomas Edison had slaves. He so-called created the light bulb. No, his slave didn't be patented. That's what it was, right? George Washington, he had slaves, right? And these were the forefathers that you had. So the forefathers of America had slaves. That means those guys that are the progenitors of this United States of America had slaves, and you were sold to these guys who were the progenitor of the United States of American government, and you were their slaves. That means that according to this scripture here, they are your enemy. Not that dude that's wearing all blue because you got on all red.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
No.
Not that dude that was wearing all red because you got on all blue. You weren't sold to him. You were sold to You were sold to the ancestors of Joe Biden.
Dude.
You were sold to the ancestors of Donald Trump.
If I may.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is why your last name is Johnson.
Yes.
Why your last name is Thomas or Jefferson or whatever. You know what I mean? What are some of the last names up here?
Thomas, Jefferson, Jackson is
Jackson.
my family last name.
There you go.
Ferguson, my father's family last
Right.
name. And what else? You may have anything from Reed to Red to George
Right.
to Smith. Smith is a very
Smith is a
common
big
one.
one. Yeah, you property of Smith.
Property of Smith. Right. Your enemy is the progenitor of the Smith. I'm not going to even say family. I'm going to say the Smith estate.
Right.
That's your enemy. That's who your enemy is. Right. Your enemy ain't Pookie and Ray now. Right. Your enemy ain't Pookie and Ray now. As a matter of fact, the Bible tells you to gather together with Pookie and Ray now. You got something?
That's heavy. Wow, no.
You had another scripture that that I really want to pull up in Amos. Earlier, did you want to read
Amos
that?
3 and verse. Oh, we start at verse 1.
Would you like for me to get that for you?
Yeah, let's get that.
Well, you got to understand is that our ops, you know, those that are opposers are not those that walk like us, talk like us. And I had to put a little Detroit rap in it. Those ain't the ones that walk like us and talk like us, our brethren. Those are not our ops. Those are not our enemies, right? In Tulsa, Oklahoma, those black people immediately understood when those bombs started to drop down. Understand that the first aerial attack of a city happened in the United States. They flew over our people in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and bombed them, right? If you look at the 1985 row houses in Philly, they flew over those people and bombed them. Those were the first aerial attacks of a city, right? A couple of the first. And it happened, your oppressor, your enemy, killing you, black men, Native American men, Hispanic men. They flew over your people. They didn't fly over their people. As a matter of fact, when was the atomic bomb dropped? Was that World War I or II?
World War II.
I don't know which. I think it's World War II.
World War II.
The atomic bomb, 1940s. Yes. Right. Understand this. When the atomic bomb was dropped, Hitler was advancing through Russia. Right. If Hitler would have continued his escapades, Russia would be speaking German. Russia will be speaking German. So the United States, being against Germany during the World War, understand the United States was against Germany, and they took this nuke and they flew across the globe. They didn't drop that nuke on Germany, which would have ended the war immediately. They dropped it on Japan. Am I right?
Yep.
They dropped it on Japan. Why did they drop it on Japan instead of Germany was the aggressor? Yes, Japan was their ally, right? But Germany was the aggressor. Germany was the superpower. Germany had already went through France and all those, those smaller countries, and was planning on taking over Russia and understand if Germany would have been able to take over Russia, right? Just imagine how huge Germany would be running from where they're located now, Germany, to where Russia is. In no matter of time, if that would have happened, the entire world would have been speaking Germany and Japanese. Japan was their ally. So the American government decided we're going to drop a nuke on Hiroshima. Hiroshima or Hiroshima?
Yeah,
Hiroshima. Hiroshima's how to enunciate, right? They dropped they didn't just drop that nuke there. That's the one that you hear about. They dropped another nuke later on, and I can't remember the city. Right? So they dropped 2 nukes on Japan. Why not drop 1 nuke on Japan, 1 nuke on Germany? Because them Germans was their brothers and sisters that looked like them. You don't drop no bomb on your brothers and sisters, right? You don't do that.
Right.
We, the people who are oppressed, we go out and hunt our brothers and sisters. We hunt our brothers and sisters because we think it's oh yeah, you ain't no snitch, or you ain't this, or you ain't that. No, that's not what we supposed to. That's not what we do. You see, our oppressor didn't hunt his brother and sister. He didn't drop a nuke on Germany.
Right.
Right. He didn't knock those people out because the nuke would have did the same amount of destructiveness in Japan, right, which was an island, than it would have been to Germany, which is what you call that, which is a landmass, because it didn't have any water. Right, it did more damage, possibly, did more damage in Germany than it did in Japan. You got something?
I just got the verse when you ready.
Oh, you wanted me to read the 3 and 1?
Yeah,
I
so,
got it
so
already.
like we started verse 3. Now I'm gonna pull up another verse too.
I got it. You ready, sir?
Yeah, go Amos 3 and verse 3. Go with the show.
So Amos 3 and verse 3 is heavy. That's
Yep.
heavy.
Yeah.
Can two walk together except they be agreed?
It can't happen. You understand? Like it's a good way to explain it. I picture like, okay, this is the way a man above me explained this. And this is the visual I always have in my mind. It's like imagine going to a mall with your girl, right? You get in the parking lot, and on one end of the mall they got let's just say the liquor store. And what's the store inside here?
Inside the mall.
Yeah, inside the mall. Yeah.
Like Macy's.
Macy's. There you go. So on one side of the mall you got Macy's, and on the opposite end of the mall you got the liquor store. And you get up the store and you're like, all right, babe, we're going to the liquor store. And she looking at you like, nah, I'm trying to go to Macy's. And both of you got different plans in mind. How are you both supposed to walk together? Both of you going different places. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't do it. So that's the visual that I keep in my mind to understand it, and that is that, you know what I mean, unless you're in agreement, unless you're saying Kanada wan Khan to the person above you, unless you're following an authority or you know what I mean, humbling down, losing your pride, and willing to go where somebody else is going, you can't walk together. You know what I mean? You just can't do it. And like what you're bringing out is so heavy in that this is also a time where you got, I believe you got elections going on in America coming up. Yes, we do. You know what I mean? You got Donald Trump debating Biden. You know what I mean? And every black man is looking at that like, who are we going to follow? You know what I mean? Who are we going to let lead us? You know what I mean? And you got on one hand, you might agree with some things of Trump. And on the other hand, you got some things you might be like, I want Biden because he's not the most racist son of a bitch on earth. And then you look at Trump and like, you know, I can't vote for Trump because he's racist, but at the same time, he's going to help my taxman. You know what I mean?
So, sir,
yeah.
I'm going to make sure and see if we got any comments or questions
on
the chat.
Yep.
Run to the computer and check that out.
No sweat. Yep, I got a comment I'm going to address in the chat too. But it's like, you got two people going in two different places. And so as a black man sitting there getting ready to vote, you can't vote for two people. You got to follow one. Because both parties are going in different directions. And that's just a principle to life. You know what I mean? It's a simple concept to life that many brothers and sisters should be able to understand. And so now you as a black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, who's looking at your oppressor, the Bible says, though hand joined in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. Meaning that even if you as a brother and sister want to hold hands and join hands with the so-called white man, the Most High is still going to punish them. He's still going to punish him because of the crimes that he's committed on this earth. You can't walk together. You can't go into the same place. There's going to be division. There's going to be separation. No matter how hard you try not to have it. You know what I mean? Like all you Christians out there who's trying to save the so-called white man, you know what I mean? You can't save your oppressor. He has a different destination because of all the crimes that he's committed. He has a different destination because, as Abawan was bringing out, he is your enemy. You don't have any agreement between that with him and your people. But you do have an agreement with the other brother and sister down the street who's being oppressed the same way that you are. You are going through all the same curses that we read in Deuteronomy chapter 28. You sitting there ready to unalive your brother because, you know what I mean, he stole $200 from you. You ready to unalive your brother because you caught him sleeping with your wife.
Salaki, sir, may I piggyback off what you said?
Yeah.
You said you're ready to unalive your brother because he stole $200 from you.
Yeah.
When your oppressor stole the country from you.
Damn right.
Right?
Yeah.
You said you ready to unalive your brother, right? And not saying it's right for your brother to lay down with your wife, but your oppressor during slavery forced your wife, not just your wife, your mama and your sister to lay down with him. And then when your mother was impregnated by your oppressor and had your little brother and your little sister, he gathered her ass up and sold her.
If I may add one small thing to that, there's some heavy that a mighty priest told me not too long ago, but you know, there's a sister who said, you know what I mean, just give me $20 so I don't gotta dance on this stripper pole. But your oppressor is the reason that you're dancing on that stripper pole.
Damn right.
It's like
Oh, wait a second. Did you want to bring up the Canadian side of it?
Yeah, let's for time's sake, let's jump back into a little more history. So I got an article that I'm gonna bring out.
Let me read it for you.
I got it. So this is
so like we said, we was gonna bring out the Black Wall Street and the America. And now this is a similar story about a similar community in Canada. So understand is what happened to us in America, happened to us in Canada, happened to us in this real stinky Africa, happened to us in the European areas, right? Happened to us in every nation. This same oppression happens to us in every nation, right? In every nation, because we don't have our own.
right here. So this is an article from McDougallCorridor.ca. And it says, Windsor, like most major cities across Canada, during the 20th century, was home to a dynamic Black community located in the metropolitan core. Situated to the east of the downtown commercial district, the McDougall Street corridor was a mostly self-sufficient African-Canadian community bound loosely by Riverside Drive East, Goyer Street, Gilly Street East, and Howard Avenue. And so, as we've been bringing up some history on the I.S.U.P.K Canada history classes, one of the things that we've come to understand is that we had many Black communities all throughout Canada. From the West Coast to the East Coast, we were all over the country and we were segregated, just like there was segregation in America. Why? Because our oppressor didn't want to live with us. I remember seeing that show, I don't know if that was a Jerry Springer show or Montel Williams or somebody. And I remember those oppressors up there saying, we don't want them in our community. You remember that?
Is that the show where it's a difference between niggers and blacks?
Absolutely, that was it.
That was Geraldo Herrera.
Good, nice. There's a difference between niggas and blacks because our oppressors, they can live with Black people, but they can't live with a nigga because they just unclean, savage, disgusting pieces of whatever they want to believe. And so, because of these ideologies that our oppressor has, we had segregation. Yep.
Do you live around niggas?
Unclean
savage. Because I live around them.
Oh.
I've never seen, right? You know, I don't see the unclean savagery that the oppressor tried to put. You know, that stereotype that the oppressor tried to put on us. But the same stereotype that the oppressor tries to put on us, I see it in them just from working.
If I may, I was at the park yesterday with my family, and I got my kids running around on the park. They're running around having fun, you know what I mean, just playing. And then in front of me, I see the oppressor's daughter. She's drinking some water out of a cup, and she's holding it in her mouth, walking to the slides and spitting the water out on the slides. And she just keeps doing this over and over, walking around the whole playground. And I'm looking at her like, you know, if that was my kids, they would have got their asses whipped. Lucky. You can't do that. Why? Because niggers aren't savages. You know what I mean? But I'm watching this oppressor's daughter. She don't got no problem with it. You know what I mean? And that's a very small scenario. I'm just bringing it up because I just saw this yesterday. Good.
You got a dog?
Huh? I understand, man. Dogs are filthy, so I can.
The person tell me that the dog's mouth is clearer than the human's mouth.
Good
I
night.
said, well, you need to brush your teeth.
Oh, good night.
But not to divert from
Right.
what you said
Yeah.
about history in Canada.
God.
Because that's very familiar about, you know, that was a very diverse, financially influenced, self-sufficient community, similar to what we were just talking about, Black Wall Street, sir.
Right. Absolutely. And one small thing too is you're gonna find that all of our communities were self-sufficient. You understand? Because again, that jealousy that Esau has for us as a people, we're capable of doing anything. You know what I mean? All the black communities that we had, if you just left us alone, like Captain Zara says, you left us alone, we'd be fine. You know what I mean? You just leave us alone. Right? So this says, aptly named for the heavy concentration of black families along one of Windsor's oldest streets, this historic neighborhood emerged during the mid-19th century as African American freedom seekers and free people of color crossed the Detroit River in search of refuge from enslavement and oppression. After the conclusion of the American Civil War brought the Underground Railroad era to an end, Windsor's black population continued to increase as families and individuals of African descent from rural areas of southwestern Ontario moved into the corridor seeking employment. Residents founded churches, businesses, social clubs, halls, and credit unions. This thriving community found creative ways to combat the discrimination they faced as a people, while providing services they were often denied elsewhere. The Walker House Hotel provided Black Canadians and Americans with safe lodgings as Windsor's premier Black-owned hotel. The Mercer Street School allowed Black educators and students to thrive. Houses of worship fostered the development of social and activist organizations while attending to the community's spiritual needs. You understand? And so what we're reading so far is that you had Black people that owned hotels. You had Black people in Windsor that owned credit unions. you had black business thriving, and blacks, so-called African Americans who were looking for employment and seeking refuge, they were flocking to this place in Windsor because it was a place where they could thrive. You understand? Yep.
So even in Canada,
Yep.
they call us African Americans.
In Canada, there's damn near no name to describe who we are.
Ooh,
They're,
so we are a nation without a name.
yeah. Like I know in America, you can look at the dates and the timelines of when we went from being called nigger to being called what was next? It was black.
Negro.
Was it Negro, then black, then I believe African American was last.
Well, African American didn't come up to like the 80s. That was
a movement from Marcus Garvey, I believe. No,
I don't think it was Marcus Garvey. I got to get some clarity. I thought that was Jesse Jackson.
Might have been Jesse Jackson. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, so I don't want to say
right
until I get better clarification.
No sweat. But the point is that in America, you have different dates on when we as a people would refer to ourselves collectively or by our oppressor as a specific name. Whereas in Canada, because the majority of the black population in Canada is actually Caribbean, a lot of us, they either look at us as Jamaican, Haitian, West Indian, Caribbean, and Benjamites, and they separate or they include us in the blacks that were in Canada from slavery. And so you might think to call them African Canadian, or I've heard Afro Canadian, but really there is no term to identify. They're just there in Canada. They call it, as far as I know, they just consider themselves Canadian.
Just Canadian.
Yeah, just Canadians. That's it. Yeah, I mean? And so, yeah. So, like, you got a question on it? No?
Yeah. So my question was, asking what would they? Because we got many names over here.
Right.
And you kind of answered. We got many names. They call us everything from Negro to Nigra to nigga.
Yeah.
Then we got named after a hairstyle, Afro American. Then we was off the two continents, African American. How are you from two continents? How am I from Africa? Well, me personally, I ain't never been to Africa.
Right.
My mother never been to Africa.
Yep.
My father never been to Africa. My grandfather and my grandmother on both my mother and father's sides never been to Africa. My great grandmother and great grandfathers were Native Americans. You understand? So we've never been to Africa. So how do we deem this term Africa? And then, like, when we ran from our people ran from the oppression in the South, and that's something we probably should get into next week. Was just the railroad, the Underground Railroad.
Yep.
Right. So when our people ran, took this Underground Railroad, whether it was, and I would like to look up the myths behind the Underground Railroad, whether it was underground tunnels, or where it was just a conglomerate of political powers that say, "Hey, come this way."
Yep.
Right. And even my issue with the Underground Railroad is that it was a team. We teamed up with our oppressor, and with us teaming up with our oppressor so-called helped us go to free states. And with our oppressor helping us get to free states, what was his win out of it? Because he don't help us for nothing. Your oppressor do not help you for nothing, right? You got brothers and sisters marrying their oppressors. They don't marry them for nothing. Tiger Woods married his babysitter. The babysitter. He could have had 10 babysitters. We believe that, you can have multiple wives, right? Righteously. Here in Israel, as a man that's following the power, that's following the Most High God. But Tiger Woods don't follow that. So he married the oppressor and allowed her to gain power over her. over him, right? Didn't one of the oppressors bust all his windows out or something like that? Yeah. Remember she busted his windows out, he crashed the truck into a tree and all that stuff.
I'm not sure you're talking about.
Yeah, that's, but the stay on course. You were saying that, this was a predominant community in Canada. Right. So this was one of the thriving financial communities in Canada.
Yep.
Black Wall Street was a thriving financial community here in America, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Right. So my question is this, and I'm gonna get to you now. The things I hear about Tulsa, Oklahoma, I see on First 48. I don't know. Are you familiar with the TV show First 48?
I've heard it.
So the TV show First 48 is where police go in, it's a murder, and they had to get a clue for the murder within 48 hours. If not, it takes them a while to solve the crime.
Yep.
Right. So now the only thing you hear about Tulsa, Oklahoma is First 48.
Right.
So what in the community that you brought up about Canada that's similar to our community and here in America, what are what's going on in that community now?
So that community, damn near every single one of our thriving communities was destroyed. And so it wasn't destroyed like Tulsa, Oklahoma was, but it was destroyed with our oppressors' deceptive ways. And it was, I guess what we would just call gentrification. Gentrification. And so, redlining, gentrification. And so the common phrase that you'll hear is something like, this area has been just let go. You know what I mean? It's not taken care of. The buildings are getting older. We need new infrastructure in here. And so what the oppressor did was come in and what they always do, they just gentrify the area.
So they bought the community for cheap. Because think about it.
Yeah,
we destroyed it. So they buy the community for cheap.
Yeah.
They put everything together. And then guess what?
All of us were displaced.
We get displaced because we can't afford to live in the community we grew up in.
Yeah. Yep. And I think today, right now, it's just a couple parks, a couple businesses. You know what I mean? But all of our people were displaced. I also did a class on Africa. Africa was something similar where, you know what I mean, to the point of where they had people, brothers and sisters, who were inside their homes. And the Canadian government was just coming in with bulldozers, just bulldozing the houses.
So we have a term here called eminent domain. So eminent, are you familiar with
Never
that?
heard that, no.
Let me get you the definition.
Yep.
So eminent domain is it says it's noun, it's a law, right? So this is Oxford Dictionary. It say the right of a government or its agents to appropriate private property for public use with payment and compensation. So this, if they choose the eminent domain, your community, what they're supposed to do, right? And this is all history. Because it's happened to us before. If you look at Seneca Village, are you familiar with Seneca Village?
Sure.
So Seneca Village is now known as New York Central Park because eminent domain took over. And what they're supposed to do is compensate these people. So when you're supposed to get compensated, it's rumored that it's 2.5 plus what you own or what your property is valued to. Would it be in a 2.5, 2.5, so that's 250%. Right. So if you bought a house, you got a house that's valued at 100,000. Right. The government come in, say this eminent domain, we're going to take over this property and we're going to do this for public use. we're going to take this property and it's valued at $100,000, and we're going to give you $250,000 for this property. But what they do is they go into our neighborhoods and they low value our properties, right? So we may think our property worth $250,000, $300,000, and they tell us your property is worth $40,000.
Right.
Right. When we're telling you your property worth $40,000, we taking over this and we're going to give you this to leave. Right. So if your property worth $40,000, think about it. They're supposed to give you 250%. Right. So that's 40. So you get paid $100,000. Yeah, Slovakia, Israel, I do math in my head like that. So they give you $100,000 for a property that you already believe is worth $100,000, and you think you get $250,000. Right. Now it was a story. No, we won't get into it. We have to get into that next week. How much time we got? Sir, you had something else going on.
Yeah, so all I was going to read quick was, so this says, by recording the stories and memories of current and former residents, we have been able to share a glimpse of this once vibrant, close-knit community. The McDougal Street Corridor walk-in tour makes this history accessible to the public in an engaging format and gives Windsorites a chance to learn more about this city's Black history and the devastating effects of urban renewal policies. So that's what they call it over here. Urban renewal policies.
You know that shit.
Yeah.
Urban renewal policies. That's definitely
right. Yeah. So like you brought up earlier, like our oppressor, his words are smoother than butter. You know what I mean? He'll use this urban, what's it called? Urban renewal policies as a way to sound like he's doing something that's not so evil. You know what I mean? Or he's trying to define it in a way where, you know what I mean? It's gonna get you thinking about something different. You know what I mean? Urban renewal, like we're trying to renew the area, like we're doing something good. Meanwhile, destroying a community that these people looked at as damn near a small heaven.
Damn right.
There was something else I was going to read where it speaks about how safe this community was for Black people.
Dude, wow, you know, it's hard to hear about a safe community for Black people.
Right.
You know.
Oh, if I could, I got something right here. It says, by 1941, Windsor's Black population numbered more than 1,000. The community was extremely close-knit. Many families in the area were related or connected through marriage. The neighborhood served as a safe space within a city that was not always accommodating or kind to those of African descent. You understand? And you actually listen to the stories of the people that actually lived there.
Yeah, right.
And they speak about how this was their home. This was their home. This was their safe space. Well, we read earlier, it said they had credit unions. They own the credit unions. Own the credit unions. You know what I mean? You're not going to your oppressor to be financed for a mortgage. You're going to your brothers and sisters to get that loan for a mortgage.
Let me spin a little something, if you may.
Right.
I'm just saying right now, in the United States currently, a brother or a sister can get an FHA loan, right, with 3% down, with a 620 or higher credit score.
Okay.
You understand that? Yep. You know, with a 620, I don't know if you're familiar with it. Yep. With a 620 or higher credit score, you get an FHA loan with 3% down. So now you can take that loan and you can buy your home. You can buy your home. The rule is going to change if our people start to indulge in that law. Understand that the laws of bankruptcy change when our people start to indulge into the laws of bankruptcy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So eventually the laws of credit change. So the laws usually change when we start to get involved. Now, I'm gonna say one other thing, sir. that I need you to take care of business. So I'm gonna say one other thing, and what I'm gonna say is that we've been speaking about the oppressive words being smoother than butter, right? And just so you guys will know, Israel, so you'll know, Psalms chapter 55 and verse 21, right? It says, Psalms in chapter 55 and verse 21, that the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Who was that? That's your enemy. That's your enemy. He spit to you. The Native American said, like I mentioned earlier, the Native American said that they called him double-tongued because he said one thing and did another thing, right? Understand, when this so-called oppressor gave you Section 8, black woman, when he gave you Section 8, you had to kick that black man out. When he gave you food stamps and what's it called when the government give you like cash subsidies? When he gave you food stamps and cash subsidies, you had to get rid of that black man. Right. And then when they send that auditor to your house, I seen this coming up. They sent that auditor to your house because they sent one to my mother's house. Now, when I was 13 years old, I was wearing a size 13 shoe. When I was 14 years old, I was wearing a size 14 shoe. So when the auditors came to the house to check, see if my mama had a man in the house, they seen the size 14 shoe sitting at the door. They said, "What man's shoe is this?" She said, "That's my son's shoe." So I come out 5'2" with a size 14 shoe. And this auditor called up another auditor to measure my foot to make sure my mother didn't have a man in the house. You understand that? Go ahead.
Keep going.
That's how heavy it is. That's how what is it called? That's how badly the oppressor wants that man out of your house. He don't want that man raising them children. Right? And we'll speak about this. We're gonna speak about this next week when we come up here, because he don't want that man in that house, because with that man being in that house, he gonna tell his son, "Hey, as a man, you got to carry yourself like that." Right? We don't want the Bible said they're the effeminate man. Right? It says that the whoremonger, and I'm paraphrasing, the whoremonger, the homosexual, and the effeminate man won't make it into the kingdom of heaven. Won't make it into the kingdom of heaven. They don't have a chance. And with the whoremonger, the effeminate man, and the homosexual not making it into the kingdom of heaven, these are the men that you make when you remove that man out your house, black woman. Right? Now, us as black men, we got to understand is that we have to do what it takes, right? And I'm not saying, brother, bow down and worship these dragons. I'm not saying that. But as a black man, we got to take care of our households. We have to, because we don't want our sons to grow up to be whoremongers, effeminate men, or homosexual.
It's like you were looking for a verse.
No, you said you were going to do
something. I was going to bring up some statistics on blacks living in Canada. But let me just say this one real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So
we can go over it. Don't matter.
Okay. Here, let me just read the start of this real quick. Right. This is an article from Global News. It just says what it's like to rent as a black Canadian. He says rent as a black Canadian.
Like rent a house.
Rent a house. Yeah. Okay. He says, I don't even have a chance. He said, as the end of her college program in audio engineering neared, he started to look for a one-bedroom apartment to rent in Toronto. One day in late 2019, at the beginning of her search, She went to see a unit that seemed to match her needs, she says. She had arranged to go check out the apartment just the day before, but when she showed up for the viewing, she says the landlord inexplicably told her the room had already been rented. Suspicious, asked a white girlfriend to see if she could schedule another visit. The friend heard from the same landlord that the unit was still available and had no trouble getting a viewing. That was one of the first instances I've seen of discrimination. Now, I was looking up an article speaking about how blacks, statistically, we're the highest people to be renters inside of Canada. We're not able to own homes. We're not able to own anything as blacks. Dude, that's just statistically.
So, with that being statistically,
Yep.
do you know what are some of the things that are holding blacks back for home ownership?
Absolutely. One of the things is simply banks denying us. And and they show in studies in Canada that redlining is a very real thing. You understand? Like, we're not able to get the same loans at the same rates that other nations are afforded, even if we have the credit score to show it. And so we're being forced to, many times we just look at a loan and say this isn't worth it. So if we're even able to get that for the loan.
If I may, sir.
Yep, go ahead.
So you live in Windsor. Do you own or do you rent your house?
I rent.
So how many rooms your house got?
I got 2 bedrooms.
So is it? I don't want to ask what you
right.
paying.
Right.
But what I will say is that over here in the United States, rent for a 2-bedroom went from, maybe in the early 2000s for $600-700 a month to now we're looking at $1,300 to $1,800 a month. Is that the same over in Canada?
What my auto one officer 5000 a bun had called Canada, he said it's draconian. we paying, we paying 3,000. No, I'm not paying that right now. But I think let me just look it up real quick. I'll give you the average.
You know you're rich when you don't know how much your rent is, man. I just it's like I had to say that. So these are some of the what was I looking up? I was just looking up it was a sister in New York,
right,
who had rent. Now I got a rib in Ohio.
Okay.
Her rent, she been in her house for years. Her rent was like $800 a month. She in a 3 or 4 bedroom.
Yeah.
And with her being in the 3 or 4 bedroom, I think it's a 3 bedroom. Right? So they are trying to get her to move because her house is right near Ohio State University. Mm-hmm. So they try to get her to move because all the rest of the rent around there for the 3 bedrooms, it's like $2,500 a month. Sure. But she been grandfathered in. And I was asking if they have those same grandfathering laws over in Windsor that they got down here. Because here in Detroit, they don't got no grandfathering laws. They say you grandfathered in and raise your rent next month.
Yeah, they do have those grandfathering laws. And those are damn near gold. Like, those are gems to find. Right. So this says right here, the average rent in Toronto for a studio is $1,800. 1 bedroom, $2,100. 2 bedroom, $2,600. 3 bedroom, $3,000. Those are just average prices right now.
So a brother and sister, right? Let's say a brother and sister got 4 kids.
Okay.
They're going to need at least a 3-4 bedroom. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You got 4 kids. You put, just say you got 2 boys, 2 girls. So you need mom and daddy room, and you need the boys' room, and you need the girls' room. That's 3 rooms right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's 3 rooms right there. So you said the 3 bedroom is how much?
$3,000.
$3,000.
And Salaki, that the new way of living in Canada is to put your family up in 1-2 bedrooms and to even share the other rooms with another family.
Now, and that sounds harsh
Yeah.
to us.
Right.
But do you understand that our oppressors, our East Indian oppressors, our Chinese oppressors,
Yep.
they put 10, 15 people in a house.
Right.
They not putting their kids out. And it's probably something we should talk about. They're not putting their kids out at 18 years old. Where did we come up is in the black community? You 18, you grown, you gone. Man, at 18 years old, I couldn't balance no checkbook. I didn't know how to pay bills. I didn't know how to do anything. Right. That's something we can bring up at another time. But these are just items and jewels that I would like to discuss with you. In the next history class or farther on, sir.
Yep. I would say one small thing that I perceive, and I would absolutely love to ask the men above me this question, but I do perceive that our people were always pushed to, you guys got to have 2-3 degrees to compete with everybody. You always got to do better than your oppressor. You got to do better than everybody if you want to survive in this place.
And I feel like that.
Yeah.
Because I got 2 degrees in engineering.
Right.
But that don't make me no smarter. Like, I think I'm the most unlearned brother in Israel.
Right.
Because I'm learning something for every brother, regardless of what their rank is. Right. I learned something from every single brother. So that's why I call everybody sir.
Right.
From the troopers on up, sir. Because you never know what I've learned when I stepped into the UPK. I don't know what I may learn from these brothers. Right. I don't know no more than them. I'm in here trying to, like I was telling you earlier, I didn't join the UPK to gain rank. I came in to learn.
John.
I accidentally got rank. Yeah, sir. So that's happy. That's happy because over here in the United States, I know a sister got she in a 2-family flat. I know of a sister person.
Right.
She had a 2-family flat. In a 3-bedroom, 2-family flat, she paying $1,800 a month on the flat. You don't usually pay $1,800 a month for the flat. And that's on, we're gonna say, I say the street, Joy Road, Linwood. But if I take you to the area where Joy Road, Linwood is, you're gonna say no. You're not supposed to pay that here.
It reminds me of, like that pride that we have where we don't want, like in Canada, we call it employment insurance. You know what I mean? Or I say food stamps. You know what I mean? We as a people, we don't want to go out and be seen getting food stamps. You know what I mean?
We don't mind now.
You guys don't mind? Okay. So maybe that's a Canadian thing because I found
we used to be like that because what they used to give us was the book of food stamps, and you had the brown dollars, the blue $5 bills. I think the $10 bills were red or something like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they would give us that, and then when I forget what president came in, and they went from that to the card. So now everybody's like.
God.
But what you were saying, it make those.
Yeah, it almost. Okay, General Mahaiman had taught on this one time where he was speaking about Salaki, what's that term? How do they call it? When basically they allow for our people to get in school. Like a certain amount of black people have to be hired, or a certain amount of black people have to.
They just cancel that.
They just cancel it, right?
Affirmative action.
Affirmative action, there. Right, and it's like with affirmative action, it's there because our people need it. You know what I mean? And for us, we're sitting there saying like, no, we don't need the affirmative action. We're equal with everybody else. You know what I mean?
If I may,
that's the kind of spirit I'm thinking behind.
So if I may,
yeah.
What's his name? Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas was elected when he got all the way up to the Supreme Court, right? Because of affirmative action. Right. So he used affirmative action to get in schools, right? To educate himself. And now he's a part of the Supreme Court. And he was one of the first people to knock down affirmative action.
Right.
Right. And what it seemed like to me is that you use this rope to climb up to the top, and then you get to the top and cut the rope because you don't want nobody else coming up behind you.
Yeah.
That's some oppressive mindset in the black man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that should be a class. The oppressive mindset in the black man.
Right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shoot. You got something else?
No, you know what? I'm gonna end it there. Anything else you want to bring up?
I don't have anything else, sir.
Yeah, we can end it there. Understand? We're a little over the time. You gonna say something? Okay, Con. Yeah, so we're gonna end the class, right? With that, we're gonna end the class. This is another Monday night history class. We're gonna be live again next Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Quickly, one response to the brother was asking something in the chat. He had made a comment saying that God has no respecter of persons. When we were speaking about Jacob and Esau, when you read Romans chapter 9 and 13, it says that God hated Esau. You understand? There is no respect of persons with the Most High. You understand? But understand that he did make certain things to be crooked. You know what I mean? Esau was made as a vessel of dishonor. Esau was made for a pot to piss in. You understand? And the Most High can hate who he wants. The Most High can love who he wants. And there is no unrighteousness with the Most High.
Does the scripture say who the Most High has made crooked
can't make it? Right.
So, Slocky, sir, if you don't mind.
Yep.
I'm gonna check the last few comments that came up before we get into class.
Yeah, well, let's do that. We'll run through the comments real quick.
Yep, I'll do that right now.
And then we'll end the class.
So, Slocky, sir, as I'm checking the class, I don't see any other questions. You know, I got comments from and I got, you know, individual brothers and sisters checking in.
Anything you think I should respond to?
Only thing we had is let me go back up. No, sir. You already respond to the respective person.
All right, no, sir.
At the top, you know, he chimed in and said that's right. We got other individuals. We got a sister checking in of Shalayata. Sister, please don't hurt me if I murdered your name, Salakia. We got Princess Sabath checking in. That was Carlos Radillo. Saying God has no respect of persons, but other than that, sir, we don't have any other questions in the chat. We don't have any more comments in the chat, sir.
All right, no sweat. Most High in Christ. All right, so for water, everybody for tuning in. Right, Yahweh Shem Shabrak a thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shemal a thumb, Bashem Yahshai to all the sisters. The water for tuning in, checking in. Make sure you hit those sign-in links if you got the sign-in links in the chat. All right. All right. And make sure you hit those sign-out links before we end the class. Come on, go ahead. Yep.
Yes, and please, Israel, do one thing for us. Like, share, and subscribe to class. Pay your tithes.
Damn right. All right, so with that, we're going to say shalom. All right, let's clap it up.